Welcome back, Didier Moulin from Didier Moulin Photography, of course. Welcome back on my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching this new video about the SL2 and the S1R comparison. The subject today is about the button layout and how it can affect the ergonomy and the user experience. Depending on what kind of lenses you will use on your Leica SL2 or LUMIX S1R. So let's see it right now, and I hope this will help you to better understand the differences between the two cameras and help you to decide which one is made for you. Let's go! So let's have better higher magnification so I can show you the main difference between the two bodies. You see that the SL2 here, this one, in the light it's better. This one, SL2, has less buttons than the S1R. On the back of the camera, on the top of the camera as well. I would not say that the SL2 hasn't enough buttons. That's not the purpose, because when you turn it around and you work with it for several times, you end up with finding the right button layout, and it works properly. So you have two buttons on the top here. You have three buttons on the back here. One button on the back here, the joystick that you can click on, the back wheel that you can click on, and you have two buttons on the front. So it's far enough, in fact, to make your settings. So what I do is that the first on the top right here, I use it to change my ISO settings. You can tune and customize the auto ISO behavior of the camera just on the right button here, and the same when you are using flash. Then the one on the left here, when I press the button here, I can go with the wheel to auto, or I can change the value up until whatever I want. So these two buttons are for the ISO, auto ISO yes or not, and settings of the ISO. The two on the front, I will use the first one on top is about the exposure measure. And the one on the bottom here, pressing this button, I will have access to different menus, in fact. So let's go back. I have the menu of the autofocus. Is it single, continuous, or MF? I have the menu, which kind of focus do I want to work with. It can be spot, multi-zone, face detection, and so on. Then I will have access to the menu where I have the help of the camera to help me manual focus. Do I want to zoom in? Do I want to have the focus peaking, and so on? And I will have also access to the customization of the speed of the autofocus, depending on if I am in sport or whatever. And the last thing is when I am in manual focus, it has to be an L mount lens. And you can customize which speeds and how many degree you have to turn the lens barrel to achieve focus from infinite to closest distance. So that's it for the two on the top, two on the front. I will use this one here to access to my user profile and select very easily what kind of profile I will select to work with. One mention in comparison with the S1R is that the name of the profiles are very short. You cannot write a long name of the profile that could help you better understand and memorize the situation in which you are. So in the S1R, you have a longer chain of characters to describe the names of the profile. Then you don't have any more buttons here, and then I will use the play button for play, so it will show me the last picture that I took. This button is to change the profile of a presentation of the display of the screen. So I selected to use only 2 display. You can have 4 and you switch from one to the other using the FN button. So display 1, 2, 3, 4, and you come back to 1, 2, 3, and so on. Either I have everything on the screen, so I have the histogram, I have the information on top and bottom, I have the horizon, and I have the picking, or I just have nothing, and it helps me making my frame. One limitation on the SL2 compared with the S1R is that when you apply and show the information on top and bottom of the display, these information are on top of your composition. You cannot ask to reduce the size of the preview of your photography, and therefore the information is hiding your scene and your picture, and so that's why you need to take the information off. So you see that here I have the information on top of the image, so you can hide something that is important. So you have to hide it, the information, so you can see what you are really taking as a picture. And the last one is a menu, which is a menu, of course, so you don't have other possibilities for this button. So that's it for the button customization of the camera. And now I'm going to talk about only one point that I don't like with the SL2. So yes, when you mount an M lens on the SL2 using the adapter, you are in a configuration like if you were using an M10. And in this case, you can use the camera with one hand like this because it's not that heavy. And you can use your left hand to address the menus. That's not an issue. But when it comes to heavy lens, the things is more difficult with the SL2, and I'm going to show you why. You see that to hold the camera with one hand is requiring a lot of effort. So you need to have your left hand to hang the lens like this. And now as soon as you want to change something, you need your left hand to go in and switch on, and you need your left hand to touch the button. But the front is very heavy, so it requires lots of effort on your right hand here to maintain the camera like this. So that's the issue I found with the SL2 is that, okay, it has the same layout as an M10 with the 3 buttons on the left, but it's also an autofocus camera, and it is also meant to be used with L-mount lenses. Now you have the 150 to 600 sigma that can be mounted on it also. So you imagine when it's 600 millimeter, it's long like this. So in this case, as soon as you want to manipulate something with these buttons, you need to leave your left hand from the lens and come here. And that's, to me, a bad point. And let me show you the difference with the S1R, because the main difference is that on the S1R, as you can see, you don't have any button on the left of the camera. As soon as you don't have any buttons on the left of the camera, then you can do everything with your right hand and keep your left hand holding the lens. That's very powerful for long lens like this. But as I explained at the beginning of this video, you have already 4-5 buttons, 2 on the front, 2 on the top, 1 on the left, 1 here, that you can address with your thumb. And this is already far enough to address 90% of the modification that you want to do during your photographic session. One good point, the last one, I prefer the handling of the SL2 because All this shape is straight, so you can hold with four fingers here, or you can move up your 3 fingers higher on the body, close to the top of the body. What you cannot do with the S1R because of this prominence here. So sometimes your little finger is out of the body here. So a better grip with the SL2, I have to admit. And so here we are for today. Completely different philosophy of cameras and body and button layouts. The S1R, as I explained in another video, is full of buttons with much more accessible functions, but the simplicity of the SL2 is really appreciable. In fact, it's a joy to use. You have access to the main functions with few buttons, ISO, spot metering. You can select your user profile very easily, so autofocus settings. So okay, everything takes more time to be set than it takes on the S1R. You cannot do change of your settings as fast as you can do on the S1R, which is more like a pro DSLR, like a Nikon D6. It's more designed to address these people like I was. I had a Nikon D3S before, and yes, you have very fast operation on the body, which you don't have on the SL2. It takes a little bit more time, but at the end, the body is very pleasing. It's a piece of art in terms of design, of course, and shape, and it has a very good grip and a very good sensation when you hold the camera. So that's it for today. I hope you like this video and you have learned something. You make your choice at the end. If already you have made it, don't hesitate to tell me. And see you in the next video. Don't forget, of course, to subscribe, like this one, leave any comment you want. You will be welcome and I will always appreciate to answer you. Goodbye and have a good day.